In the windswept steppes of Central Asia, a child was born into exile. His name was Temujin, a boy without a kingdom, abandoned by his own tribe, living in hunger and fear. And yet that boy would grow up to become Genghis Khan, the leader of the Mongols and the man who built the largest land empire in all of human history. At their peak, the Mongols controlled more than 24 million square kilometers, roughly 16% of the Earth's land surface. Their empire stretched from the Pacific Ocean in the east to the edges of Europe in the west. But how did a scattered group of nomadic tribes achieve such a staggering feat? It began with unity. Temujin, through a combination of diplomacy, alliances, and brutal warfare, united the endlessly feuding Mongol tribes under one banner. In 1206, he was declared Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. But uniting the tribes was just the beginning. He then transformed his people into one of the most disciplined and deadly military forces the world had ever seen. Every Mongol warrior was a master horseman and archer, capable of hitting targets at full speed. They used herds of spare horses to travel vast distances, allowing them to move faster than any army on Earth. And they didn't just rely on strength. The Mongols were masters of psychological warfare. Entire cities surrendered without a fight after hearing of the terror they brought, because those who resisted were often completely destroyed. This created a reputation that traveled faster than their horses, but fear was only part of the equation. The Mongols also relied on intelligence and efficiency. They used a complex courier system called the Yam, with relay stations across thousands of kilometers. They developed maps, gathered spies, and studied their enemies before launching attacks. They adapted quickly, using siege weapons, engineers, and knowledge taken from every culture they encountered. Under Genghis Khan and his descendants, the Mongols conquered northern China, Central Asia, Persia, the Middle East, and parts of Eastern Europe. They even sacked Baghdad in 1258, ending the Abbasid Caliphate. Under Kublai Khan, they ruled all of China and established the Yuan dynasty. Under Batu Khan, they swept through Russia and reached the gates of Vienna. But for all their brutality, the Mongols were not mindless destroyers. Once a region was conquered, they allowed freedom of religion, promoted trade, and protected travelers along the Silk Road. Their legal system, known as Yasa, enforced strict laws to maintain order. Merchants, scholars, and explorers, like the famous Marco Polo, could travel freely across Mongol lands, sharing ideas and inventions from one side of the world to the other. Eventually, however, the empire fragmented. After Genghis Khan's death, his empire was divided into 4 major khanates. These divisions, combined with internal conflicts, rebellion, and cultural differences, slowly led to the empire's decline. But even after the fall, the world had already changed forever. The Mongol Empire had reshaped global trade, accelerated the spread of technology, and opened connections between East and West. Gunpowder, papermaking, and even plague traveled faster because of Mongol roads. Their legacy is carved into the borders and cultures of dozens of nations today. From a boy cast out into the wilderness to a ruler whose shadow touched nearly every continent, Genghis Khan and the Mongols left a legacy that no empire before or after could match. This is how the Mongols conquered 16% of the earth.